You know, all right, perfect. So welcome to tonight's team royalty training call. It's pretty much we're going over the financial freedom tool. Everybody has financial goals that they would like to accomplish, whether that's debt elimination, whether it's early retirement or quality retirement or generational wealth. And it all boils down to understanding your numbers. See, wealth is math at the end of the day. And we're going to go over a tool that's going to show you the math behind creating wealth. So we had a call recorded, but stick around to the end just in case there's any hiccups, and take notes and get involved, get engaged, ask your questions when the opportunity presents itself, because that allows you to get a direct answer to a direct question that you have, and now you're able to apply it specific to your situation.
Yes, and if you don't know who we are
Mr.
and Mrs. Smith. And we are coming to y'all from North Little Rock, Arkansas. Guys, we are the creators of the royalty movement. We have been involved in myEcon for almost 10 years, almost 10 years. And for 9 of those years, guys, we have not worked a job, okay? This has been our full-time income. So that's just to paint the bigger picture of the potential in myEcon, okay? It is very much possible to do so, but you gotta have that hustle and you gotta have that grind, and you definitely have to be disciplined and focused. Let's go ahead and dive in. I'm gonna turn my camera off over here.
You keeping that mic?
Yeah, I'll keep this mic as long as it's not echoing. Let me know in the chat, is it echoing at all for you guys, or is it pretty clear? Did you mute everybody else?
No, when you do.
Okay, it's clear. Oh, cool. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and get started. So if you're looking at my screen, you should be very, very familiar with this website that's up on my screen right now. It is the myEcon website. Every single one of you have access to your very own website. It has your name on it. Listen, because it has your name on it, utilize it, okay? You can log in anytime, any day, whenever you feel, right? It's yours. Log in. You can't break anything. I assure you. Click around. Get to know this opportunity and what you have. Hold on. Let me mute. You said you didn't mute everybody else? I think I just said it. Hold on. All right. All right, cool beans. All right, y'all. So the very first thing that you're going to do on your website is you are going to go up here to the top, okay, where you see this little scroll bar, okay? There is something called the cash flow strategist. The cash flow strategist. So we are going to click on the cash flow strategist. Now, if you need a little reminder on where to access it, go ahead and write that down, right? Log into your myEcon website, click cash flow strategist at the very top. Y'all, this is where you're going to go for debt elimination, for early retirement, for money management. And that's what we're about to break down on tonight's call. We want to see who's really serious about taking their finances to the next level and ultimately becoming financially free. All right, if you've never done anything with the cash flow strategist, it's going to bring it up and it's going to look completely different. Like where you see the ABC in the little box, you won't see any of that. The only thing you'll see is where it says to create a new cash flow strategist, click new. That will be the only thing that you'll see on your screen. Guys, you can also access this through the Cash Flow Manager app. The Cash Flow Manager app. However, the strategist is better for you to do it on a computer or on a tablet, something that gives you a bigger screen, because you're going to be entering in a lot of different numbers. Okay. If you don't know what the Cash Flow Manager is, that means you haven't gone through your steps. So make sure on the royaltymovement.com, you're following all of the steps, because downloading the mobile apps was in the very beginning steps, okay? So we're gonna click new and create a new cash flow strategist. When you do that, this form is going to come up, okay? Very first thing it's going to ask you is your found name. This name will be useful to identify the cash flow strategies in your list. So for example, if you have a specific goal that you're trying to hit, if you're really serious about retiring in the next 5 years, let's say, you can name this retirement game plan for the next 5 years or 5-year retirement game plan, right? Or you can just put your name and it's going to have a timestamp of the date that you go through this tool, all right? The very first thing that you're going to see, the first section, asks you your top 5 financial goals. Is it to increase your income, reduce your taxes, buy a new home, make a major purchase, pay off debts, pay off all of your debts, excluding your mortgage, save for college education, build retirement assets, or other? You are going to number those in the order of importance to you, right? If you don't have kids, save for college education ain't gonna be in your list of 5, right? Put those in the list that is most important to you, top 5. Then number 2, section number 2 is your retirement freedom goal. And I'm gonna try to zoom in for those that may be on their phone. Now it's gonna ask you a series of questions. And as I go through these questions, guys, again, I want you to engage. So I want you to drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat without overthinking it. What's the least amount of monthly income that you desire at retirement? Drop that amount in the chat. Okay? Meaning when you're done working a job, when you're chilling at the house, for some people that's going to be 65, for some people that's going to be sooner, for others it may be way later than 65. Some people, unfortunately, are going to work until they die, which I don't want that for anybody on here. What is the least amount of monthly income that you desire at retirement? Okay, this is to cover your expenses, any type of leisurely travel, fun, right? Put that in the chat. Okay, I see I see 8,000 in the chat. I see 7,500. Everybody else, I guess, has been a little shy. 2K. Okay, 2K. What is the least amount that you desire at retirement? Okay, 8,000, 10,000, yeah. Okay. Now, question number 2. What year at the latest do you plan to retire? Okay, what year? What would be ideal for you? Is that retiring in 2025? Or is that retiring 2030, 2035? Now, this, of course, is going to be different for everybody depending on your current age and, your goals. But put that in the chat. The year at the latest that you plan to retire. Okay? I see some good things. 2025, 24, 28, 27. Okay? Now it's going to get into some personal questions. And you don't have to drop this in the chat. I just wanted you to drop those first 2. Number 3 asks, how much of your monthly retirement income do you expect to receive from Social Security and company paid pensions? So this is something for you to think about if you've never thought about this. Guys, we don't know what Social Security is going to do. We honestly don't know that. There have been threats for years that Social Security was going to be gone with the wind, right? You hear a lot of elderly people, whenever you hear your grandma or grandpa saying, I want a fixed income, what they're talking about is Social Security, guys. That's the government paying you, sending you a little check every month. And I'm going to tell you this, the current Social Security rate is kind of embarrassing. When they say they're on a fixed income, what they mean is they don't have enough money, right? The government sent them a small check. Now, if you're used to making $3,000, $5,000, $8,000 a month right now on your job, and Social Security only sending you $1,000, what you gonna do to make up that other income, right? That's something for you to think about. Also, how much are you investing right now into your 401k, your 403bs, your IRAs, your CDs? If you have no idea what those are, then you definitely need to stick around, right? And you definitely need to stick with myEcon because we break all of that down. Actually, a couple of months ago on a training, the founder, the co-founder of the company got on and taught us about investments. On one of the Super Saturday trainings, we walked through opening up an investment account, right? So you definitely want to stick around and make sure you're getting everything that myEcon has to offer. Question number 4, what is the approximate value of your investment portfolio right now? So they're asking, how much money do you have in your 401k? How much do you have in a mutual fund or IRA or company paid, or excluding any type of pensions and Social Security? How much money you got, right? Because a mentor of ours once stated that if you are not investing, you are not even on the road to becoming wealthy. You're not even on the road to having a comfortable retirement. You have to have your money somewhere where your money is working for you, not you chasing the dollar, right? Number 5 asks, how much money do you currently invest monthly into long-term savings? So again, we're getting all up in your business. How much are you investing? Number 6, how much additional money monthly can you invest into long-term savings? What can you put into your savings, into your investments right now, right? We really want you to think about this. Now, if the answer, and you should be just kind of answering these to yourself in your head or maybe jotting them down. If the answer is, I don't have anything else to put into my investment account right now, and you don't really have money in your investment account right now, guys, you don't want to be closed-minded to additional streams of income. You definitely don't want to be closed-minded to that. And actually, you got some catching up to do. Multiple streams of income is no longer a luxury. It is a necessity. You have to have multiple streams. You have to be investing, or else you will work until you die. And again, I don't want that for anybody on here. Number 7, how much money do you have set aside for emergencies? And it tells you you need at least 6 months living expenses. How much do you got into your savings, separate from your regular checking account, that you can touch in the case of an emergency? Now, we have something called the PCP, which stands for the Personal Cash Flow Plan. It is laid out on the royaltymovement.com, and it is an 8-step plan to achieving financial freedom. There is a step that tells you to set up your beginner's emergency fund, which is a minimum of $3,000. And it tells you do not move on to the next step until you have that. Then there's another step as you keep going that tells you to set aside 6 months worth of living expenses. This is called a full emergency fund. So this is something that you need to work up to. Don't feel discouraged. Don't feel defeated if you're looking at these questions and you're like, nope, not investing. Nope, can't put nothing else in there. Nope, don't have any money for emergencies. Don't quit. Now you need to start working out your plan, right? This was your first exposure to this information. So let's start working out your plan so that we can get you there. And then step number 8, or question number 8, is really simple. Now, I do want you to answer this one in the chat. Do you feel you currently have a plan in place to accomplish your retirement goal in your desired time frame? So if you said you want to retire in 2024, do you have a game plan for that? If the answer is no, put it in there. If you said 2028, 2030, do you have a plan in place to accomplish it by 2028, by 2030? A laid out plan, all of your numbers, you know exactly what to do, and you're working towards it every day. Okay, I'm seeing some yeses, I'm seeing some no's. Now, I'm just going to be transparent with you. When I first filled this out, my answer was no. It was no, just a flat out no. Even reading these questions, the answer was no. I didn't have it. And it did make me feel some type of way that I didn't have it. But I had a little bit of confidence that I could figure it out since I had access to this. And it was the first time I was ever asked this. It's okay if your answer is no. Just don't give up on yourself, because this isn't a get rich quick type of opportunity. You should be able to tell that off of the questions. Ain't nobody say that they wanted to retire in 30 days. So don't expect a miracle like that in 30 days. In 60 days. This is something that takes years. We're talking about retirement. People work their jobs for what? 40 years. And should be planning for retirement the entire time that they're working, right? So don't join myEcon and think, oh, I'm gonna be retired in the next 30 days. It doesn't work like that. Okay. Now, this is where I really need some really good engagement and interaction. Section number 3 goes over debt elimination. How many people on here want to be debt free? Drop it in the chat. Affirm it. I am debt free. Put that in the chat for me. All right, I see that coming through. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna actually look at 3 and 4 kind of together because I want to explain the difference. Now, if you look at section 3, it talks about debt elimination. If you look at section number 4, it talks about recurring monthly expenses. Some people get those two confused, okay? And that's not a knock. You shouldn't feel any type of way about that. It is a little bit confusing. Now, as far as debt elimination, this is debt. These are things that can be paid off, meaning it can be paid off. Once you pay a certain amount of money, the balance is zero, opposed to a recurring monthly expense where ain't no such thing as paying it off. Your cell phone bill is an example of a recurring monthly expense. As long as you have a cell phone, you're paying every single month. It's no such thing as paying it off, right? That bill gonna come every single month. Same thing with if you have cable or any of these like streaming apps. Now, of course, you can cut them off, but they are a recurring monthly expense if you want to keep it. Same thing with your utilities. Okay, those are recurring monthly expenses. Now, let's go up here to debt elimination. Give me some things that would go under debt elimination. You can give me some of your personal things if you want, or you can speak kind of vaguely, okay? The very first one I'll do for you. I'll just say a MasterCard, right? A MasterCard credit card. That is debt, right? After you pay off that balance, it can go down to zero. And let's just say right now, the balance owed on this MasterCard is $8,000, okay? The minimum payment every single month on this MasterCard is $100, okay? Somebody else, give me another debt. Just kick me out. Oh, look. Let me go back here. Give me another debt. Okay, furniture bill. Give me some numbers to go with that furniture bill, Miss Charlene. Okay, an old car, 22,000. Okay, Shayla, I see you. All right, I'm getting pulled back up. I don't know what happened. Oh, did I have it up in several places? I might have did. Let me see. Is that why? Okay, private school. Oh, that's a good one. Private school, 1,800. Okay. Okay, so Miss Charlene said 2,700. Okay, a boat. Good job. Boats. Okay, cool. Car loans, student loans, medical bills. Yes, these are all examples of debt. Okay, so I'm just going to put that in there. And I have to actually, you can still see my screen. I have to go back up and I'm just going to fill in some quick numbers here. This is just kind of a mock-up. Okay, keep it going, keep it going. Mortgage, okay. All right, retirement freedom goals. I'm gonna go here with the person who said they wanted 10,000 during retirement. And retirement year, let's say 2030. how much of your monthly retirement? Let's say you currently you don't expect anything from Social Security. You only have about, let's say you have nothing in your investment portfolio right now. You're not investing, you don't have any additional money, and you don't have an emergency fund. And the answer is no right here. All right, so I had a MasterCard in here. And the balance owed, I put $8,000. Monthly payment, $100. All right.
That's 80,000.
Oops, 80,000. Oops. I added some extra debt on there, didn't I? Okay, and you guys, for you to add another debt, because this is going to be your homework. I want you to do this for yourself. So please, please, please make sure you're paying really good attention. Okay. To add an additional debt, there's a little option right here that says add another debt, and you're just going to click that. So let's put student loans in here, because that is a big one for people. And let's say your student loan balance, how much people we having in student loans?
40.
40,000? 40,000?
We ain't got to do them that bad, but y'all do 40.
Let's do 40,000. Minimum payment, you know, they be having people paying like $50 on their loans, right? And you're just gonna keep hitting add another debt. So another one I'm gonna put in here, let's do mortgage, right? Some people might have a nice little amount on their mortgage. I'm gonna put 80,000 in here. And minimum payment on that, let's say you're paying about $1,800 a month. Okay, let's just do those three. Let's do those three. But look, if you have more debt than that, and I have to keep saying this because I know how it can be going through a system like this, where you kind of kicking yourself a little bit, that you let things get a little bit out of hand. Trust me, I get it, okay? If you have more debt than this, just keep hitting add. It's okay, right? Because now you have a plan. Don't ever be discouraged, right? Don't ever feel defeated. The only way you should feel like that is if you quit. If you decide, oh, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna plug in these numbers, okay, well, you're just gonna stay stuck, right? But the least you can do is try. Plug your numbers in and try. All right, let's keep going. Recurring monthly expenses. Now, I gave you one, cell phone, right? I know we pay about $200. We pay about $200 a month on the cell phone bill. What's some other recurring monthly expenses that you have? Let us know. What's some recurring monthly expenses? Utilities, Miss Shirley. How much you got for utilities?
You just said gym membership, $24.
Okay. How much you paying for utilities? About $100, okay. And we're just gonna hit add again, just for every additional debt. Gym membership, we got $25. We got gas, right? Groceries. Ooh, listen, you just triggered me when you said groceries. Okay, you triggered me, because we definitely spend about a good $1,000 in groceries. It feels like every month. Groceries are ridiculous right now, right? Keep going. Personal hygiene, that's a good one, Shayla. Personal hygiene, right? Every month. How much you got on that? Clothing? Now look, Deanna, I hope I'm saying it right. Clothing is a monthly expense for you, Queen. Okay, let's think about that one. Yeah, just spent $750 in groceries. Listen, triggering. Do you hear me? Car insurance. How much we paying for car insurance? Health insurance. Yes. Y'all see all these bills? You got all these bills. Why limit yourself to one stream of income? You got multiple bills, but don't have multiple streams? Make that make sense. Okay? I'll do one more. Y'all not speaking on health insurance. Look, especially when you're self-employed, especially when you're self-employed, health insurance Let's go ahead and look, I'm being modest with this. Let's go ahead and put 150 in there for health insurance. Life insurance, absolutely. So do y'all see what I'm saying? Y'all see what I'm saying here? And we can go on and on and on and on. When we pay all of the bills in our household, I'm like, okay, look now, how we got 25 odd bills, but we have multiple streams of income, right? But you want to make, Shayla said, everybody needs to be a billionaire. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. Now, Tia, you said something good. You said something good. You said rent, 1,100. The thing about rent is one of those things that will go under recurring. Yes. Some people think that rent goes under debt elimination. It does not, right? Because you can't completely pay off rent. That is a recurring monthly expense. This is the example that people give, renting versus buying a home, right? It's because one of them, when you get to thinking about it, we looked at what we pay in rent over a 10-year time span. We was like, oh no, this makes no sense. We could have bought a house. Now, that's not for everybody. And for a long time for us, we debated on if we even wanted a house. We just wanted to travel. The fact that when you don't have a home, a lot of times you don't have to pay for things that break. You don't have to pay for things going out. And when you buy a home, those expenses are on you. I'm not pushing people in either direction. It's really up to you what you want to do, right? Where you want to go with your life. You don't have to buy a home. Some people feel like that's the American dream. If that's the dream for you, then absolutely it is. But that's not the dream for everybody. For a very long time, we did not want to buy a house. We wanted to be free, free, okay? And we just wanted to travel and use all our extra income to travel, not paying for a water heater breaking down or paying for a leak or paying for, you see what I'm saying? Okay, I can go on and on with that now that we're homeowners, okay? Why medical bills go on your credit? I've always wanted to know that. You want to answer that real quick?
So medical bills unpaid can go on your credit because they just have access to your information and they just report it to any collection company. And then that collection company tends to report it onto your credit. So that's pretty much how it works. Any uncollectible item, if they have enough of your information, they can have it reported to your credit and reported to the collection companies to increase the chances of them getting paid, if that makes sense.
Yes. Okay. And you know what? I am going to just add just one more bill on here because the young lady who said clothing, right? We're going to add shopping on here as a monthly expense because I want to show you something. Okay. We're going to just put $200 a month, which I know for some people, they're like $200, girl, that ain't even a bag, right? Depends on your taste. Now, before I go to the next screen, I just want to point something out on this screen, okay? And thank y'all for the engagement. You see the bills here. You see the current monthly cost, right? And for some of you, I did see somebody say that they were going through this right now. You're probably not going to make it all the way through this, which is why I want this to be homework. I really want you to pay attention here because for us, we found that we also had to pull some bank statements to see where our money was going. We had to really just pull everything to just really get a good glimpse of what's coming in and what's going out, right? Now, I want you to look at something. We have your expenses, we have the cost. Now, there's a little section here that we left blank called new monthly cost. New monthly cost. Now, if you're looking at that, you're probably wondering, what is new monthly cost? Well, this is what we want you to do. When you go through and you list every single bill, every monthly expense that you have, we want you to see how you can get those things down, okay? Down or off. What is a necessity? What is not? What can you cut back on? So the very first one is a cell phone bill, right? And I said we're paying $200 a month. Now, here's the thing. I used to work for a cell phone company. And every single day, okay, first I started out in a call center in customer service. Every single day, I got a phone call asking, how can I lower my bill? How can I get this down? I felt like they was going through this system. Now that I look at it, guys, you can call these companies and see how you can get things lowered. Your cell phone, you may be able to remove some of your features. I know back in the day, you used to be able to remove certain features off of your phone. There was different plans that they could switch you to. I'm thinking old school, where there was different minute plans, right? If you say, you know what, I don't need unlimited, I don't talk on the phone that much, can I go down to this? Now, I know that that's not a thing anymore, but there are different plans still that some cell phone companies offer that you may be able to call and say, hey, how can I get this bill down? Hey, you know, if you're paying on the phone, because that's a thing, right? Now you can pay on phones. It's like you're leasing phones these days. See how much it costs to just go ahead and pay it off. See if that's an option for you. So the thing is, you want to call these companies and see, how can I get this bill down? Some utility companies, you can call them and see how you can get your utilities lower. And there may be different things that you can do. I know at one point here in Arkansas, they were offering like solar paneling and stuff to save on some of your utilities. There are different things that you can do, okay? A gym membership. We gotta, you know, look at our situation. Are we using the gym membership? With gym memberships also, I know that there's an annual renewal fee. Are we using it? Can we work out at home, and will we be consistent with it? Some people go to the gym just because they know anywhere else they won't be consistent. And I get that. Are you using it? If the answer is no, you might want to cut that off, because that's $25 that you could put towards investing. You could put towards saving, right? Same with your grocery bill. Y'all, one thing that I tried, I'm very, very transparent with y'all. With groceries, I remember back in the day, we started taking like couponing classes. There was a lady on our team who was like this ultimate extreme couponer. She wrote a book and everything on how you can save on your groceries, right? And so I dipped and dabbled with the couponing. I wasn't really good at it, but I tried because I wanted to get that bill down. I got something else to say, but I'm not gonna say it because it's very hood mentality. But there's other ways that you can get your grocery bill down. I like to keep it real, right? Some people have these 3 letters. Anyways, let's keep going.
They know.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Car insurance. Call and see if you can get it lower. We've done that. Where the car insurance was like, yeah, actually, you know, we can change your deductible to this and da-da-da-da. We can get it down to this, right? Jamisa said EBT, period. Okay? Period. Health insurance. Can we get it down? Usually same thing. They can raise the deductible. Now, I'm not saying do it, pay a higher deductible, especially if you know that you go to the doctor regularly. You may have like some underlying health issues. I'm not telling you to lower it if it's going to affect you negatively, if it's just going to hit you hard later down the line. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the things that you can lower, right? Shopping, for the queen that said close every month, right? Shopping. Listen, if we're not investing, if we're not saving, if we're serious about becoming debt free, that shopping gonna have to wait, okay? And what you wanna do, if you can get these things down, in the column that says new monthly cost, that's where you're gonna put your new number. So let's say I got my cell phone bill down from $200 to $170. Not too much, just $30 a month, right? Let's say my utilities, I got those down from $100 to about $85. Okay, not too much. Let's say that gym membership, we said, you know what? We don't use that. Over on the far right, there's a button that says delete. You check that button if you cut it completely off. One of the things that we personally cut off, and y'all, I'm talking about back in 2014. Keep in mind, we've been with the company for almost 10 years. We were so serious about our finances back then, and we were in our early 20s. We were so serious about our finances that we cut off the cable. This is where we said, hold on, we're spending 100 and what? Okay, click, called that company and cut it off the very next day. And we haven't had cable since. groceries. Like I said, couponing. Say you can get that $675 bill down to about $500 with couponing. Okay, that's $175 that you're freeing up. And if y'all are noticing what's happening in that gray box, it's calculating the cash flow that you're freeing up. Do everybody see that? Okay, I'm trying not to go too fast. Over here, car insurance. Let's say your car insurance, they couldn't really budge. Health insurance, couldn't really budge. But that shopping, yeah, we don't have to cut that out. Sorry, Queen. Okay, we're gonna cut that off. Look at how much cash flow we freed up. Let me do some math real quick here. We got 200. Okay.
700, it's looking like about $745.
$745 we were able to free up. Does everybody see where I got that number from? Please let me know if you don't understand where I got that number.
It'll show up on the next screen too.
Okay. How much was it?
745.
745. Okay. And guys, this may not be the case for you. You may go through your numbers and you can only free up $200. You may have everything down to a minimum to where there's nothing you can free up, right? Everybody's situation is different. Don't let this one example deter you or stray you away, because there's still options for you, okay? Does everybody see where we got that? I need to see yeses in the chat if you understand where we got that number. And I'm gonna keep going. Jamicia, you said you had a question? If you can, type it in the chat for me. Okay, everybody saying yes. Cool, cool, cool. Jessica Watson said yes. All right. Cool, cool. All right. So guys, this is gonna be the first step of your homework. Go through your bills. I don't care if you got 50 bills that you're paying every month. Buckle down and do it. Y'all, it's time to put your big girl drawers on. I was gonna say something else. Put your big boy drawers on, right? And let's get this done. Cheer fees will be recurring expenses, right? Yeah, I mean, technically it depends. It depends how long you plan on doing cheer. I guess temporarily it could go under monthly. I will put it under recurring for now. I will put it under recurring expenses. If it's something that's long-term, I would probably put it under like debt elimination, and you can kind of do the math on how many years they're going to be in cheer, that type of thing. But starting out recurring, you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, y'all. So let's keep going. So yeah, like I said, put your big girl underwear on, your big boy underwear on. Bring all of your bills. This is what we did. We rounded everything up. We printed off bank statements. We sat at the table. We had a bottle of wine or water, if you drink water, tea, coffee, whatever you need. And we had our devices up and we went through this, okay? We went through it because that's the only way you're gonna know where you're going and how far you need to go is manning up and putting your numbers in. Now you're always going to hit save and return to list. Save and return to list. Let me put a name in here. I'm just gonna do example so that I don't get it mixed up with our real ones. I'm gonna hit save and return to list. Okay, hold up, I got an error. I think it's Zoom. I'm gonna blame it on Zoom.
I hope it delete them numbers.
Okay, I see one right here. I think it saved it for me. Okay, now if y'all look at my screen, you see the names here. Let me zoom in here. Now this is Marcus's real cash flow strategist. He was doing some other things in here, but if y'all notice the one that says Mr. and Mrs. Smith, what's the created date on there? Just so y'all can see, we about that life. It's no way we could have made up the created date before this call, okay? Once you start going through the strategist, it stamps the date, okay? Okay, Shayla. What's the created date? I just want y'all to see this real quick before I keep going. Look at where it says Mr. and Mrs. Smith, where it says created, where it says updated, that date that y'all see? Waiting on somebody to put it in the chat. There we go, Jamesia. August 16th of 2014, we filled this out. We joined in 2014. That's when we started with this company. Yes, we updated it in 2016 because we had become debt free. We had some other things going on. We backslid a little bit and we had to revisit it in 2016. Then on my account, there's some more recent ones than that, 2018, where we kept revisiting it because we kept wanting to get better and better, right? Now up here, the one that I started with you guys says example. It's the one on the very top. Once you start going through the strategies and you hit save and continue, or whatever it said, right? Save and proceed. Then you're gonna see A, B, C. That first page was A. Now we're on B. So we're gonna get back in here. Now it already has some numbers filled in for you based on what we did on the first step. It says the retirement freedom goal is $10,000. Do y'all remember when we put that in? Because it asked, what was your desired retirement amount, right? Your monthly income that you desire during retirement. And we put in 10,000, okay? Number 2 says projected monthly dollar amount that will be provided by a pension or Social Security. 0, because we put 0 on the first page. So it transferred those numbers over. Now here's the kicker, y'all. If we go down to number 4, it says the total assets needed to provide the desired monthly income goal. You need an 8% rate of return, which really isn't bad. An 8% rate of return. That means you need to be investing your money, guys, because the amount that you need, that dollar amount over there, I don't know if y'all see them commas, but that's 1.5 million that you need in investments in order for it to pay you out $10,000 a month. This is what people don't understand. This is what people are not getting, right? You can't just say, I want $10,000 a month coming in and you ain't got no plan. So when I ask, do you have a plan? Do you have a $1 million plan? Is what I'm asking. And if you are not investing, that's the plan. You need to be investing. You need to have your money somewhere that's going to get you an 8% rate of return. And by the time you retire, you need to have $1.5 million in your investment accounts. See, studies show, and just in case y'all think that this number is exaggerated, you think you're never going to do that, I want you to research this. Studies show that you need 10 times your salary to retire comfortably. Does that not come to almost the same amount? We just have a system that's computing all the numbers for you. Guys, that comes to very close to the same amount. Think about if you're making $50,000 right now a year. What's 10 times that, right? Think about if you're making $80,000 a year. 10 times that is what you need to retire comfortably. You really think you're going to just work and save that? You really think you could just work a job and save and, oh, I don't care if you put aside your whole paycheck. You're not going to have this much money saved when it's time for you to retire. We have to be realistic here. If you are not investing, you're not even on the road to becoming wealthy. You're not even on the road to retiring comfortably. This is why people are working until they die. Okay. Number 5 asks, what's your projected value of assets owned today? 0, because that's what we did on page number 1. We said that we don't have anything in investments. We said we don't have anything in our 401k, right? Number 6, same thing. The projected amount you're going to need is 1.5. Number 7, the monthly amount needed for investments to build your retirement freedom goal $13,000. $13,379.32 to be exact. The dollar amount being invested monthly today, zero, because we put zero. Guys, y'all better act on that 401k, especially if your company is matching. They talked about this on the training. You got to plug in to get the information, guys, and in order to apply. Y'all better act on this 401k. When I was working a corporate job, my company matched 6%. You better believe I was investing in that 401k, getting that free money. That's free money. You better believe I invested in that 401k. And then number 9, same thing, net monthly dollar amount needed, $13,000. I know it sounds like big numbers, but guys, it's really not. And when you start making money, you're really gonna see, shoot, $10,000 a month really ain't what you think it is. It's really not, right? Now, we're gonna get into the myEcon's strategies, right? Because again, we have solutions. We have solutions. Miss Shirley, we got solutions. Just hold on. I see you already praying in the comments, right? I see a couple of people already hopped off this call, probably already feeling discouraged or feeling defeated. You're not going to win if you quit. I'm just keeping it real. You will not win if you quit. If you look at these numbers and say, oh, I can't do that. Okay, well, shit. I mean, shoot. Well, you're just not going to have a plan. You will work until you die. And I'm not making that up. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm not saying that to be rude. It happens every day, y'all. It happens every day. Step number 1, Yvette. Step number 1 says business income. What's your assumed cash flow created by your business income? Keep in mind, myEcon has a business opportunity. We have a referral-based structure where you can refer people to this company and we get paid every single week. Every single week. This is additional income outside of your job. Just by, you can post a Facebook status tonight and say, my mentors are taking me step by step through how to become debt free. I got a system to fix my credit. I'm getting a pay raise on my job. I'm ready to become financially free. Who want to join me? You can make a status like that. And I guarantee you people are going to come out and say, me, I want it, right? Somebody's going to speak up. You could talk to your family about things like this. Because I guarantee you a lot of them don't have a plan. I know my family didn't. You can make money with myEcon as well, guys. We're not just credit repair. We're not just the financial stuff. There's a real money-making opportunity that pays all of our bills, right? That took us off of our job. How much money monthly can you acquire? And you're going to put that here. We got $100 here, but let's just say you make, let's say you make 500. Let's say you make projecting 500 a month. Okay, that's not a lot. That's not referring a lot of people to the company. Step number 2 is your W-4 on your job. Okay, because we're not talking about it tonight, but if you went through the royaltymovement.com and you started going through those trainings, one of the very first steps is teaching you how to adjust your W-4 and get a pay raise on your job, right? Now, in here, they already had $250. That's $250 a month that they're bringing back into their household every month. If yours is more, put in the dollar amount. Now, keep in mind, if you are getting a pay raise on your job, we break this all down in the video, but I don't want to confuse anybody. If you are getting a pay raise on your job, you're electing to get your money throughout the year instead of a refund at the end of the year. Listen, I don't know about you. I know mentalities are different, but I want my money now. I don't want to wait to the end of the year. I don't care about a refund at the end of the year when you've been holding my money all year long, when I've been living paycheck to paycheck all year long. For some people, you're not living paycheck to paycheck, but it's still your money, right? You can choose to get it throughout the year, or you can choose to get it in a form of a refund at the end of the year. I want my money up front. I can put my money to work every single time I get paid, opposed to waiting on a lump sum. And now you're trying to spread that little refund. You like, yeah, I'm gonna save a little bit. I'm gonna buy me a new car. I'm gonna catch up some bills. We hear it all. And that refund is gone within the first month of getting it. That's not smart. Okay? So put your pay raise in there. And then step number 3 is gonna break it all down for you, right? It's gonna break it all down in this chart. It says here the recurring monthly expenses, the current payment. Oh, I didn't put, oh, the recurring monthly expenses. I didn't really get deep into the recurring monthly expenses. I just put some of them in there. Let's keep going. I'm gonna scroll to the debt elimination, and then I'm gonna hand it over to Marcus. The debt elimination, look at right here in this chart, where you see the mortgage, you see that MasterCard that we put in on page number 1, you see the student loans. And look at this. I really want y'all to see this. It's gonna ask, how do you wish to use the money monthly? Up here, personal use. We're not gonna put anything for personal use in there. Emergency fund, we're gonna leave those blank just for now, because I really want to draw your attention to this chart right here. The mortgage was $80,000. Current payment, $1,800. The new payment is $2,195. Where did we get that from? Can anybody tell me where we got, how we're gonna pay $2,195 on the mortgage instead of $1,800? Where do we get that extra money? Where do we get that extra money from, y'all? That's about $500. Where do we get that? From the money saved? What money saved? If you don't know, it's okay to say, I don't know, in the chat, because I really want y'all to get this. It is from the things you eliminated from still paying. Okay. Okay. Debt elimination. Okay. Them commissions. J-Ro said, them commissions. Okay. All of y'all are right. K-Ro, yeah, y'all are right. Let's scroll back up. Right here. We put business income, $500. We did save some money on those expenses. That's here. Up in here, we even got our pay raise that we're getting on our job. So guys, what it's doing is it's taking the cash flow that you free up. It's taking the commissions that you make in myEcon. It's taking the pay raise on your job, and it's adding it to your minimum payment. Now you can pay it off faster. Now you can pay it off faster. So what they did was apply $395 to that, okay? Because some of it had to go to your recurring expenses. So guys, we need to get our expenses down. Get them down as low as possible. Look, if you got Netflix, Hulu, all them other ones, Tubi, I can't even remember all them apps. I don't have all that stuff. If you got all of those, okay, y'all, it's time to make a decision. Plus, how you got time to watch TV? Listen, never mind. I ain't gonna say that. It's time to make a decision, right? If we're serious about this, we gotta start cutting some stuff off, because that's money that can be used towards your debt. That's money that can be being invested, and that's money that can go towards your future. Okay? Deanna said Netflix had to go. Listen. We only got Netflix originally for our children because, like I said, we cut up our cable in 2014. Netflix was the first thing we got after that and was the only expense. Just recently, we did a free trial of Hulu, right? Oh, Tubi is free? Okay. Well, sure. That's one to keep. But how you make sure we ain't over consuming on the TV and straying away from our goals, right? Because we could put some of that time into building a business and making some money. But anywho, new payment on our mortgage is $21.95. And look at this, the mortgage can be paid off in 37 months. Right here, it says months to terminate. Pay that mortgage off in 37 months. Then look at what it's gonna do, y'all. I want y'all to get this. When you pay off the mortgage, which is $2,195, that's now your cash that's available. That's available for you to put towards the other debt. What was the last thing? I mean, the next thing was your MasterCard. Your MasterCard balance was $8,000 and you were only paying $100 a month. Put another $2,000 on that thing. Now you're paying $2,295 on a credit card. You can knock that credit card out in 4 months. 4 months. Do y'all see this? And save loads of interest. Now that you freed up the credit card, now it's time to go shopping. Now we can, no, ma'am, no, sir. We're gonna roll that over to the next debt. And it's the big beast, student loans. But if you're paying an extra $2,345 on your student loans, now you could terminate it in 18 months. In 18 months, guys. And look at this. It says all of your debt could be terminated in 59 months. You can be completely debt-free by 2028. 2028. Drop a fire in the chat. It doesn't matter if these are not your numbers, okay? I really don't want anybody to say, well, my numbers are different. We know, guys, we know. You want to put in your numbers. You want to know when you can be debt-free. You want to know how much debt you have. You want to know how you can lower your expenses. Your year might be 2035. Okay, at least you know your year. At least you know your year. Too many people don't even know when. They just think, well, I'm gonna have debt until I die. Why would you think like that? Yeah, if you're lazy and if you don't have a plan and you don't actually work towards it, then yeah, that will be the case. But it's the fact of you knowing your numbers. And I want y'all to do this homework because we want to hold y'all to this goal. When you do your homework and you see when you will be debt-free, we want to put it on a banner. We want to shout it out on social media to let people know what this movement is all about. We're about being financially free. We're working towards being debt-free, right? Let us know when you finish this and your year, and we'll make you a banner that we can use on social media. You can use that banner for marketing. Now you can bring other people along with you. You can show them this plan. You can plug them into these calls. You don't have to walk them step by step, guys. Our referral program is really a beast because you're not the one doing all the work. Once you get them to enroll, you're just plugging them to the royaltymovement.com, then plugging them into the trainings. And for the most part, we're doing all the work. The support groups are doing all the work for you. You're not fixing their credit for them. You're just showing them where the credit system is, right? Let's get those numbers. Let's get those numbers. Okay. I know I went long, but you can pick up from here back.
Shout out to the queen for killing it, We're at the top of the hour, so I'm gonna keep it brief, but this is what you got to understand. Plug these numbers in based on your situation, number one. But number two, the reason why some of these numbers are the way they are is because the time that we put in place. So we put the retirement freedom year at 2030. That's 7 years from now. So as a result, if you want to make that happen, your monthly amount has to be that $13,000. That's because of the time frame that you're faced with. Now, if you want to do it in a longer time frame because you have a longer horizon, then at 2040, say you put it at 2040, that number will drop. That monthly amount needed for investments to build your retirement will drop because you spaced it out a little bit. You gave yourself a little bit more time. If you plug into the trainings and you apply the things that we teach when we're talking about investment, then your rate of return, if you look at line 4 talks about the total assets needed to provide desired monthly income goal at an 8% rate of return. 8% is being modest. So if you're plugging into the trainers and you really get down to business when it comes to investing, then you can see yourself getting a higher rate of return than just 8%. See, 8%, you're not limited to just 8%. It's an investment that I shared at a previous training. And, you know, I like to share different things just to kind of paint a vision for you. But it got more than 8% in 30 days. Their 8% is talking about per year. So it did that in less than 30 days. So you're not limited to a small return just because that's the picture that's been painted. So these numbers can get chopped down fast. But I promise you, if you're not investing, you're not on the road to being a work. And if you're not investing, then you're not using your money to leverage and multiply. Because like she said, you're not going to be able to save to that number. You have to invest. You have to use your money. Let these big businesses that are billion, $1 trillion companies build your wealth. A lot of times people argue about what's the best phone. And I was having this conversation with my nephew over the past weekend when he spent the night with us. And he's an Apple device user. Shout out to Apple. We're Android. Shout out to Android. Now, a lot of times people argue about what's the best device. How much of it do you own?
Period.
How much of it do you own? And yes, if you own the index fund, the S&P 500, you are counted as a part owner in that company because Apple is in there. And Google is, over the Android branch. You can't directly invest in Samsung, Galaxy, and things of that nature, but you got to understand who controls and moves the pieces. So how much of it do you own? I'm glad that people love Apple because we have some ownership. I'm glad that people love Android because we have some ownership. I'm glad that we use Facebook the way that we do because we have some ownership. So think about how much of it you're going to own. Now, instead of you just letting these companies make money off of your back, you position yourself to make money off of them. And they have a responsibility to report how they're doing. So that's why it makes investing less risky, less gambling. You're able to pay attention to how companies move, and now you're able to grow your money with them. And that's how you chop these dates down. The more money you invest in, the better. Don't just get in the habit of just spending money and just like, no, if you're not putting that money towards some investments, giving it an opportunity to grow, then you're doing yourself a disservice, period, point blank. That's more important than almost anything. Investing your money, at least a portion of it, is almost more important than anything in terms of your money. And I don't want to get biblical, but it's some biblical scriptures that talk about those who make a certain amount of money and the people who did not multiply their money, that came back with that same amount, that was punished.
Yep.
The people who did not put their money in a place to grow got punished. So what you gonna do? You got to invest. So we went through all of these numbers and you understood how she broke it down in such a seamless manner and really put you in a position to understand that you can accomplish these goals. You just have to put your own numbers in. But this is where it gets down to your debt freedom day. Now, based on this example, you're going to have a debt freedom day of 2028. And this should be very familiar because this is a part of, truth be told, the royaltymovement.com, knowing your debt freedom date if you go through the steps. But we like to break it down in an intimate setting like this so you can actually see us going through it live, ask your questions live, and benefit from it. But now once you're debt free, guess what? That's when things flip. Now you're no longer paying people and you're ultimately paying yourself. So now you got more money to invest. So if you look on a year-by-year basis, the amount of money that you freed up based on you paying off all your debt, in this example, you got $2,345 available to be applied to invest. You now have a total of, if you see right here, right under step 5, cash flow investments, it says that you now have a total of $2,345 available for investment that was created in steps 1, 2, 3, and 4. See, another thing that speeds it up is if you decide, I'm gonna get serious and start making some real money in myEcon's. That speeds it up. Now you create some residual income, and that residual income go to $1,000 a month, $2,000, $3,000. You're chipping away at your goal step by step, and now you might have to readjust your cash flow strategies and say, you know what? It looked like I was gonna be retiring in 2040, but at the rate I'm going, it looked like it's gonna be 2038. Sped it up a couple of years, and you just keep revisiting it based on that. But now we got this $2,345 available. Throughout the year of 2029, you will have had $29,000 invested. I'm pretty sure that 23,000 multiplied by 12 is going to give you that $29,000, 195.08 invested for the year 2029. Then look at 2030. Keep doing the same thing, getting that rate of return. You're over 60,000. Let's skip down to 2035. You're over $250,000 just by taking the money that you once was throwing towards expenses, debt, mortgage, student loans, credit cards, etc. In 2035, you're at $262,905.71. Over $250,000. And that's in 2035. Same money, just applied differently. Same money applied differently. Type that in the chat. Same money applied differently. Because at the end of the day, what's going to make you wealthy is going to be your money. It's going to be what you do with your money. So it's not just about what you make, it's about what you keep and do with it. Because some people keep money and just save it. That's cool. That's just like putting it in the shoebox. And, you save it and, you have access to it when necessary. But if you didn't give it an opportunity to grow, then you look up years later and you wonder where it went. 2035, let's jump to 2040. 2040, now you're at $500,000, over $500,000. Still doing the same thing. Same money, apply differently. Same money, apply differently. So it's all about where you apply that money. Now, let's fast forward and let's jump all the way down to 2048. If you keep this up, now I know we're beyond the 2030, because 2030 was the ultimate retirement goal, but you position yourself to have some freedom, some debt freedom by that age. But we're going to need income for life. It's never going to be a time in the future that you're not going to need money in some way, shape, form, fashion. So if you have money coming in, you should always be investing. And if it's not just for you, then it's going to be for your future generation. It's going to be for your kids' kids. They're going to be able to benefit off of the fruits and the seeds that you planted during the time that you were living, during the time that you were investing. So in 2043, you at 1.3 million. 1.3 million, almost at that 1.5 that was necessary in order to pay you out that $10,000 a month based on this example. You see, when they say you need 1.5 million in order to be bringing in $10,000 a month, I don't want that to go over your head. So for many investments, if you have 1.5 million invested and it's paying out a dividend, just as an example, it may pay you out the amount you need in retirement. If it's not paying a dividend, but you withdraw or take some of those capital gains off the table, you're not taking the whole 1.5 out. You want to keep as much money in there working as possible. But if you're taking some of those capital gains out, now you're able to get that $10,000 a month while that money is still working, because the goal is not for you to deplete the 1.5 million. The goal is for you to get enough to live off of them on a year-to-year basis while that money is still growing. Just something to keep in mind. And then they take it all the way down to 2053. And in 2053, got 2.2 million. Same money, applied differently. I don't know what I just clicked, but here we go. Same money, applied differently. And then 2058, it says, congratulations, you have achieved financial freedom. They took it all the way to 3.4 million, but it's the same money applied differently. Now, what happens is you got to get in the mindset of, okay, if this is what I'm able to do just off of these numbers, what can I do to increase these numbers or decrease numbers in other places? So when I went over the net worth strategy, where we talked about increasing your net worth every 30 days, this is what that is talking about. Every 30 days, you have the ability to position yourself to increase your net worth. And the ways you increase your net worth is to get some things to go up and some things to go down. I want to see in the chat, what type of items need to go down in order for your net worth to go up automatically? And what type of things need to go up in order for your net worth to go up automatically? Let me see that in the chat. So I don't spoil it. What needs to go down? And you can list them both, either or, however you want to do it. But what items need to go down and what items need to go up in order for your net worth to increase automatically? And once you understand that, every 30 days, you'll be like, you know what? Yeah, things might not be how I want them, but my net worth increased. My net worth increased by 1%, by 2%, by this dollar amount over the past 30 days. You set a goal to keep running that up.
All right,
Cash
so
flow.
Shirley said things that are not a necessity. Yvette said debt or expenses down, assets and investments up.
Okay.
Somebody said income up, expenses down, cash flow up, debt down, debt down.
I love it. So y'all get it for the most part. Simple way, assets up, liabilities down.
Yep.
Assets up, liabilities down. myEcon is an asset. So don't ever feel like the $39 or the $54 that you're paying on a monthly basis is an expense, is a bill. Because for one, it's tax deductible. And we need to talk about the tax deductions. Because when you operate this business with the intent to make a profit, some of the expenses that we listed on this cash flow strategist, guess what? Just became up to 100% tax deductible. See, that's a whole nother game when you're looking at the money you're going to spend anyway, like your cell phone bill, and now you're using your cell phone as a form of creating content, doing certain things in order to make money from it. And you just made that cell phone bill tax deductible up to 100%. And that changes your numbers even more, because at the end of the year, you're able to claim things that you typically wouldn't be able to claim without operating this as a business. Very important. And I saw a couple of questions. One being from Tia. She was like, is it a way to make your clothing tax deductible? Now, I'm still researching some of those things because how I feel, and depending on who you listen to, there is a way to write out things. You just got to figure out how to do it. Now, in the beginning, when we were first coming into myEcon, there was a lot of things that people told us that wasn't all the way accurate. So we won't tell you that you need to be writing off everything, your haircuts, all of that. But in the world of content creation, it's a lot of things that are possible. So let me stick a pin in that. But, you know, in the typical way, clothing wouldn't be deductible. In the typical way, groceries wouldn't be deductible. But in certain scenarios, groceries are supplies. In certain scenarios, clothing is, you know, marketing material or, you know, apparel, depending on what it is that you're doing with that clothing. But you want to get in the mindset of converting a lot of the expenses that you have into tax deduction because that puts more money into your pocket that you can then use to put towards building wealth and investing. So let's hit save and return. And then when you go to section C, this is what we call the printable. This is what we call the printable. So all of the work that you did, retirement year 2030, you'll see all of the numbers, you know, that the Queen went over so eloquently. You'll see all of the numbers. You'll see your step 2, taxes and withholding, 250. Minimize expenses with the smart consumer purchasing. You see that number. Debt elimination. All those numbers are there. But these are non-editable. I think that's a word. These are non-editable. Editable. Y'all feel me? So that means you print this out. And now you print this out. Get a magnet, put it on your fridge, print it somewhere else and put it somewhere else, let it serve as a reminder and see if you can beat these goals, beat this number to where you're ahead of this and you're not waiting until a particular date because now you got to readjust your numbers because you look like you're going to hit it a little sooner than before. So that's it in a nutshell. What we just did was gave you the cash flow strategies, laid out how to put in your numbers. Everybody's number is going to be different. Everybody's net worth scenario is going to be different. And that's okay. Regardless of what it is okay. Because most people don't have a plan. You know, we know people who charge thousands of dollars just to get access to a tool like this, just to do a walkthrough like this, just to go over and show you how to do this. You got to pay $1,000 just to give you what we just gave you just from being a member. So please understand the power, the tools, the wealth that you have at your disposal, at your fingertips, and the group of people who really want to see you win by going over numbers like this in great details. But part 1, putting in your numbers. Part 2, giving you an idea of what that looks like. And then part 3, just having a printable item. And this is going to take some time. It's going to take you pulling all your numbers out. I seen the Queen said she's going to have hers done by this weekend. She's very involved in understanding that, hold on, you know, this is something I got to take serious. So really take this serious. This is a wealth tool. This is worth the price of admission just for being in myEcon. Just this tool alone is worth $50 a month if you understand how to use it and everything that, way more if you understand how to use it and understand that this is the tool that you can use that puts you in a position to be your own financial revolutionary for your family, for your household, and break generational curses as we all want to do.
Yes, let us know if y'all got something from this training. If you got something from this training, put it in the chat. And what I really want y'all to do, guys, because we got to try to get more people on these training calls. Now, of course, we can't force anybody to do anything, and we can only pour into those who show up. But if we can get more people talking about it, talking about the knowledge that they gain from these calls in the groups, like the credit group, for example. If you are in one of the credit groups, drop a nugget in there. Let people know, look, if you was not on the training, you missed out. We just got a walkthrough of how to become debt-free, how to find our debt freedom year, okay? And your homework, guys, is for all of you to fill out the cash flow strategies. I want you to fill it out. If you've already filled it out, I want you to go back through it, right? Because life happens, right? COVID happened. Inflation is happening every single day. Like I said, these groceries driving me up a wall right now. Go back through your numbers. Find your debt freedom year. If it's pushed back a little bit, that's okay, right? If you could push it up a little bit, let's do it. Find your debt freedom year so that we can shout you out. That's going to be your reward. It's so that we can shout you out. Now look, If you wait till next Friday or the next training next Wednesday, I ain't got nothing for you. I want this done by the weekend. I want this done before Sunday, right? So that we can be popping out the banners over the weekend. Let's get this done by Saturday midnight, right? Saturday, well, technically it'll be Sunday midnight. Let's get it done by Sunday, y'all. Sunday midnight. And inbox one of us, or you can send it to our joint page, Marcus Angela Smith. Let us know your debt freedom year and send us a 5 selfie of yourself so that we can put it on the banner, okay? Now, I did see some other questions in the chat. Deanna, it seems like, has some credit questions. One of her questions that I saw was, should you leave credit cards open? And should utilization be under, I think she said 30%. I know you want to answer that one.
All right, so yes, leave the credit cards open. You know, you definitely don't want to close them. It's only certain circumstances that, you know, we would recommend closing them, but for the most part, you want to keep them open because they've already started to show some credit history that can benefit you. You've already got some good payment history, hopefully associated with that credit card. So you don't want to close it and lose any of that. But credit utilization should be less than 10%. Really want to set a goal for when they report to the bureaus for it to be less than 10% or even 0%. I know sometimes people say, you don't want to have it at 0. You don't want to not use it. You're still going to show activity. When you make a payment, that's showing activity. When you use it, that's showing activity. But the goal is not for them to make the most money off of you. They make more money off of you when you overuse it. But when it's under 10% or at 0%, then I don't care if your interest rate is 20%. What's 20% of $0? 0, which means that you're going to be able to still use the card, but not pay them a dime for using their card. And when you do it that way, they start giving you more money. They double your credit limit. Or, your credit limit. They double or they give you more money because they see you're using it properly. Now, this is the key. And I'm going to say this just because you may be new and you may have never heard me say this. When I say get it under 10% or 0% utilization, what you want to do, and this is another part of your homework, find out when your statement date is on that credit card, AKA when they report to the credit bureaus. And sometimes you can just look at the statement and see the statement date. But other times you might want to give them a call and say, hey, what day do y'all report to the bureaus? You find out what that date is. Let's say that date is the 20th of every month. If you know they report on the 20th of every month, do you want them to tell the bureaus that you have a high balance, or do you want them to tell the bureaus that you have a low balance? Real simple. Simple answer, you want them to tell the bureaus that you have a low balance because the bureaus reward that. They're going to look and say, okay, she's keeping her balance low. Let me go ahead and give her 20 extra points, 50 points, up to 165 points that you get just from properly managing your credit card balances and keeping it low. And now you know the game. You can use the card, but as long as you know when to pay it out before they report to the bureaus, now every month you're showing up in the best way possible, no matter how often you use the card. Hopefully that helps, but that's the answer. Keep them open, keep their utilization low, and understand when they report to the bureaus, usually the statement date, but you can call and find out specifics.
Okay, awesome. I saw Rashida had a question. Rashida asked, how do you know pay it off before they report? Oh, Ms. Shirley was asking you to repeat that part. I don't know if she caught it the second time when you said it. Pay it off before they report. She might want you to elaborate on that one a little bit.
Yeah, pay it off before they report to the bureaus. Usually that's the statement date. So you have a due date, but then you'll also see on the statements where it's a statement date. Usually it's that date. So as long as you pay it off before that statement date, that's usually when they report to the bureaus. But to make sure you know the exact date, you can give them a call and ask them when they report to the bureaus. Still want to make sure it's paid by the due date, because depending on how it falls, you don't want to say, okay, he said pay it out by the due date. And now that, he said pay it out by the statement date. And now that statement date, let's just say is, 2 weeks after your due date. You don't want to not pay it by your due date and run a risk of getting a late payment just because you're waiting on the statement date. So don't do that. Still under the due date, but just understand you want to have the lowest balance possible before the statement date, and then keep it that way for 5 to 7 days. And that way, when they report the lowest balance possible.
All right. So Rashida had a question. How do I know what I can write off from the business at the end of the year, like cell phone meetings, etc., a tax account? All right. So for one, there is a document in your back office. So if you log into your myEcon website and you go to the document center, there is something called the common tax deductions. It was pulled directly from the IRS website that shows you some of the most common things that you can write off on your taxes at the end of the year. Another good reference is the IRS website. The IRS website lets you know what a home-based business can qualify to write off on their taxes at the end of the year. And then I saw you say that you file your own taxes. You should be familiar with what's called a Schedule C. I know you want to piggyback on that, Dave.
Another good reference is the cash flow manager tool.
Yes.
And you do a lot of, you travel. So understand that cash flow manager tool. You need to make sure you have that app downloaded. And whenever you're doing anything that's business related, you pull that cash flow manager tool out. And when you're entering a new expense, it's a drop down tab. That drop down tab has so many different things on there. And you'll see, oh, these are things that people are writing off. It might be 100 things on that list. I'm gonna be honest with you. And then you can add other things depending on how specific it is. And the myEcon membership is on there as well. So once you look at that cash flow manager list, in addition to the common tax deductions, in addition to using the IRS website, that cash flow manager is going to help you. And now what you want to get in the habit of doing is recording as much stuff as you possibly can. So at the end of the year, you at least have records. And then, you know, you can find out whether or not you get to write off all of those things. But most of the things that's in the cash flow manager, you can write it off up to 100% tax deductible. The goal is to make sure that all of the things that you're doing that require you to spend money are in alignment with you doing business, and that positions you to write off the things that you're spending money on.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, with you filing your own taxes, you're just gonna have to do your own research as well. I mean, it's all laid out on the IRS website, but you have to make sure you're astute in those things so that you do know what to properly write off. If you decide that you want like a tax preparer, make sure that they are educated on things that home-based businesses can write off on their taxes. Okay. Checking the comments to see if there's anything else. I got a question for Marcus. I have an old repossession on my credit that I want to dispute on this round. How do I dispute that properly? Or if I need help, can y'all help me if I run into a snag?
Gotcha, absolutely. If you run into a snag, we got you. You said you want to dispute it on this round. So I'm assuming you already sent some dispute letters out and you just didn't include that. So with that item, I would always start with the normal flow. Verification letter. So that first letter is just basically saying, you're not denying it. You're not saying that that repo does not belong to you. That's the beauty of our letters. Nothing is us lying or denying. Just keep that, you know, in your mind. Basically, the verification letter is saying, hey, I see this being reported. I want you to verify that you have the right to report this. I want you to verify that this item is either verifiable, accurate, not outdated. That's what the verification letter is. So start with that letter. Then 30 to 35 days later, you go with the method of verification letter. Repos have gotten removed just off of that alone. So if you get a snag after that, then, you know, holler at us and, you know, whatever else we got to do, other letter options that you can use. But usually just going through that normal flow is something you would do, because none of those are denying anything. It's just saying, hey, verify. Okay, if you verified this, what was the method you used to verify this item? And they got a checkpoint of things that they got to go through in order to determine that they have the right to report that on your report.
Okay. All right, y'all. So I don't see any other questions in the chat. I know we kept y'all on a little bit later. I know I was into it. We kept y'all on a little bit late, so we can go ahead and wrap it up. If you have any other questions, especially like credit questions, don't forget to drop them in the credit group. I definitely want to thank y'all for hopping on. For my builders, I want you to stay on just a little bit longer. If you're interested in making money in myEcon and just kind of seeing what the business side of myEcon is all about, stick on a little bit longer. We won't take too long. But for those who have to hop off, if you're not interested in making money, you're going to do that homework, right? We're going to have that done by Saturday, right? By Sunday, right? The beginning of the day, Sunday. All right. Then let's go ahead and close it out with the mission statement. If you're going to hop off, make sure you hear this mission statement and you learn this mission statement, guys, because it's affirmative, right? It speaks so many things over your life, and it goes like this. You see, we live in a world where we are conditioned for failure. And oftentimes we have been programmed or fooled into mediocrity. So people find themselves living like peasants instead of the royalty that they were meant to be. But you see, here in the royalty movement, we see the king in you. We see the queen in you from start to finish. It's just time to take your seat on the throne, because this is where we uplift your character, your confidence, and your cash flow. As royalty, you should establish a solid financial foundation that will soon lead to your abundance and thriving empire. Take your seat on the throne. You are royalty. Salute. All right, guys. So have a great night. Thanks again for hopping on. Drop it in the group, your nuggets, okay? Put it in the credit group. Let people know that they missed out tonight. And I want y'all to do their homework. I'm so serious. I'm telling you, it'll put you a cut above the rest, far ahead of people in your age group and people that you know, all right? Builders, where you at? Unmute, say hey. Oh, you know what?
Yeah,
I don't think nobody can unmute, can they?
Well, we'll give them that option.
Nah, I switched it over, right?
Oh, you took over the ownership of the,
Yeah, because my tablet is about to die over here.
okay,
Give me a second, y'all.
stop the record.
Okay, how long, y'all?
I think it's in more. I think you just hit one more.
Oh, I think it's up here. Okay. Hold on, how long, y'all? I know it's different on the phone. It's all good. It's all good. Okay.
Just
Oh, you know what? Let me hold on, y'all, real quick. Let me make you the host again, then you can stop the recording and then I'll hold on. Which one is here? Oh, single snip right there.
Nah, it isn't. Nah, it's missing.
So is it still the host right here?
I just did client host.
Okay, there we go.